episode of Extraordinary Ordinary Women, and I'm Margarita. And I'm excited to be able to share with you stories of ordinary women, women in our community, perhaps even your next door neighbour, women who have had a dream or an idea and followed it through to fruition. Their stories will encourage you, uplift you, and hopefully inspire you to ignite the seeds of greatness within your heart. For it's through sharing that we come to realise that we are not Robinson Crusoe, all alone on our own little island, but that there is, particularly now with social media, this network of truly amazing women, women who willingly stretch out their hand with encouragement. Having found this for myself when my life was turned upside down, it's my gift to those women to be able to pay forward the gift of encouragement to others. So, without further ado, I have the absolute pleasure of introducing a very special guest, a woman who not only inspired me to reach higher levels with my horses several years ago, but also inspired me to believe in myself at a time when it was really needed. What struck me then and still does today is Carmen's authenticity and the genuine care she has for every person she meets. She has a unique gift for encouraging others to see possibilities they may not yet see in themselves. And I know you'll hear that throughout our conversation today. Her journey reminds us that sometimes the greatest transformation begins when we invest in ourselves. Now, many people first came to know Carmen through horses. She spent years travelling up and down Australia's east coast, coaching riders and helping people build better relationships with their horses. She became known not only for her horsemanship, but for her ability to teach confidence, communication, and trust. But while Carmen was busy helping everyone else achieve their dreams with their horses, she realised she had very little time left for her own. And she has openly shared that she was working incredibly hard, travelling constantly, and despite her success, often felt like there was more month than money. Then she discovered an opportunity that challenged her thinking in a completely different way. Through Enagic and its philosophy of health, personal development and business education, Carmen chose to invest heavily in herself. She attended events, surrounded herself with mentors, developed a new mindset, and gradually built a business that has given her financial freedom and, just as importantly, the freedom to live life on her own terms, now on her own little farm. Today, Carmen is passionate about helping others realise that creating wealth isn't just about earning an income. It's about personal growth, changing limiting beliefs, building confidence, and very, very importantly, help serving others and becoming the person capable of creating the life you truly want. And I'm excited for today's conversation because beneath the business success is a story of courage, reinvention, and discovering that the biggest investment you'll ever make is in yourself. So please join me in welcoming Carmen Smith. Welcome, Carmen.
Wow, Margarita, that was so beautiful. Thank you so much for your lovely, warm welcome. That was, magical. You're a beautiful lady.
Well, you're a special person too to me. Carmen, before we dive into your story, tell us where you're joining us from today, please.
I'm joining you from the beautiful Somerset region of Kilcoy, which is just about an hour and a half north of Brisbane in Queensland, Australia, if you're watching from overseas as well.
Yes, because we both know Zoom brings people from all over the world.
Yes,
which is lovely.
Yeah. It is lovely.
Now, Carmen, please, can you please take us back to the beginning? What was life really like when you were traveling the country teaching horse clinics? Because from the client's perspective, you appear to have a really good life.
I loved it. Yeah. I loved it. My bank account just didn't love it. And, I was living my dream that I had. I was in the horse industry for 18 years. It was my dream since I can remember. Um, leaving school, I was working for the family in the family business in real estate. And it was about 5 years into that business that actually my dad got esophagus cancer. And he was flown straight down to Brisbane to the bigger hospitals there because we were in Cairns. And urgent surgery within days, and he had his whole esophagus removed. And he's fine now. What's that? Nearly 30 years later, possibly around that time frame now. But after that, it was a very big fright for our family, for sure. But after that, I just remember, mum and dad's conversation of go out and chase your dreams, go out after your dreams and goals. And they were with horses. I wanted to be able to go and follow my horse passion. So off I went, left the comfort and surrounds of Cairns and the family, and went off on my own to embark on my horsemanship journey, which led me to many different places and primarily overseas. I lived in America and Europe for a while as well, studying natural horsemanship, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. It was a lifelong dream. But I think when you're in like your 20s and your early 30s, you can get by on, noodles, rice, and just living off $10 here and there, $20 here and there. Although with inflation, it's probably a lot more now. And so I think at that time, it was also just a fun adventure for me to be able to go out and chase my dreams and goals. And so I decided to get a little bit more serious about it, shall we say, and come back to Australia and plant my flag of teaching natural horsemanship. And also that's where I met yourself and many other lovely women, primarily women that I was teaching, and just being outside in nature and teaching horsemanship. I traveled up and down the east coast of Australia every year. I packed my horses into the trailer and I drove. Mostly it's a good 3,000 kilometers from one end of Australia, from Sydney to Cairns, and I just taught along the way. So I was away from my home base for a good six months of the year, and then a lot of the other time of the year I still had those expenses back home, but a lot of the rest of the time of the year, it's Christmas, it's New Year's, it's summer, and it's too hot for horse things. So my income kind of was non-existent for that time of the year. So you pretty much saved your pennies to then survive through Christmas and holidays and all those kinds of things. And I lived on this roller coaster for years. That's kind of how it started.
So what happened that drew the line in the sand, that you decided there was more to life than this?
I so remember, and it was actually the clinic at Uralla, and so you were at that clinic with your gorgeous horse, and it was freezing cold, and I do not do freezing cold very well. I'm a bit more of a summer gal, but I was freezing cold, and I was in my dream trailer and truck. I've got an F-250 truck and a 3-horse trailer that has living quarters in it. It's my dream, and obviously there's expenses that go along with that, but I remember working my tushy off every weekend, as I usually did, and then you would come to Monday to go and pay your bills, and there was nothing left, and I just got sick and tired. I remember being in that showgrounds facility, and I'd done my washing that morning, and I'd had all my undies and bras strapped around, making my own little clothesline here to dry everything out before I traveled to the next thing. And I remember having a conversation with my mom going, is this really it? Is this what life's going to be like? You work really hard for the days or period of time, and then you go pay your bills and there's nothing left. And I had just kept repeating this cycle. And I suppose I got sick and tired of my own excuses. I got sick and tired of this is how it's going to be. And that was kind of the first line in the sand for me to be able to go, if you don't change anything, Carmen, like you love what you're doing, but this model of earning an income, this way of working and paying the bills, it's not working for you. You need to either go get another job or find something else different to support you. Because I was in my mid 30s, I suppose. And I had previously been sick with Ross River virus, which is from a mosquito, little mosquito. If you ever think that you are too small to make a difference, you just go and remember this little mosquito. Like, I'm sure I had like fears of mosquitoes anytime after that, because this mosquito took me out for 12 to 18 months. And doctors didn't know what it was at first. And I literally couldn't work properly. Well, I couldn't work at all for 6 months. So my income stopped. Then I couldn't work properly for a good 12 to 18 months. It took my energy. It took my mobility. I couldn't move and have a shower. Lifting a cup of tea like was just non-existent. And I'm a single woman. And so having to provide for myself, having to cook meals, look after horses, it made me question how you earn an income. When you're unwell and you're still trying to be able to get by, put food on, bread and butter on the table, you start to be able to go, how am I going to be able to earn an income if this is, just how things are going to be? So that combined was really my line in the sand moment to go, you need to change something, Carmen, and possibly be brave enough to be in a totally different industry, because I feel like the horse industry in general was suffering because it was a drought, or there was fires or floods or everything that the industry goes through, where it's the first thing for people to cut their costs. When people are trying to tighten their own belts financially, you let go of the fun stuff. You let go of the horse clinic that you might go to once or twice a year. So I thought, you know what, you possibly need to be in a new industry. So that was kind of my line in the sand moment.
And isn't it amazing that once we become aware of the line in the sand moment, the universe then brings things to us. What did the universe bring to you to move you?
It was probably pretty much like within that week or two, because I do remember the time of the year, but I literally was then on my way back to New South Wales, to home base where I was. And I literally just saw a post of someone advertising a business online and to be able to earn extra money. And I was like, oh, that's what I need to be able to do. I just wanted to earn an extra, few $100s to be able to pay the rent a bit easier, to pay the horse feed bill a bit easier. And I suppose at the time my mindset was, and society kind of conditions us this way, to work really hard to get ahead, just go and get another job. Go and exchange your precious time, which I didn't have much of, let's be real, at the end of the day, to go, how would I fit in another job? But that's what I was conditioned to do. So I went and applied also for a job at Coles, a grocery supermarkets. I thought, I'll just go get a job stacking shelves. I got knocked back 3 times. I couldn't even get a job stacking shelves. So my confidence, like straight down the gurgler, like, you are unemployable, Carmen. You can't even go and get, $20 an hour job and go and work a few hours extra a week. So at the same time as I'm trying to apply for these other jobs around the place, this opportunity came online to be able to go and start earning an income online and running a business from home, whether you're in your pajamas or you're out in the horse paddock. But I started to be able to go, this could be something that I could leverage for myself. And, I wasn't looking for health products for myself as such. I mean, yes, I had been unwell, but I think at the end of the day, us horse women, we possibly spend more money on our animals for them to be able to, get better, feel good, look amazing. And I wasn't spending much on my health. But as I started to dive into the company and Najik's products, I started to see the benefits of the water that we are drinking every single day, and with my dad's health as well as my health. And I started to go, you know what? These products would actually benefit our family's health, as well as me being able to earn an income online for myself. So it started to become a no-brainer for me to be able to invest in the products for our own health, that also came with a business model so that I could be able to earn an income online for myself. But then the doubt creeps in. Then all the what ifs, and can I be able to do this? I have no experience. I'm already time poor. All the things that us humans just do to ourselves along this journey we call life. So that's kind of how it started for myself, to be able to learn a little bit more.
So Carmen, whenever we start something new, there are always challenges. What fears did you have to overcome before investing in yourself, and what role did mindset play in that?
Yeah, that's a great question, Margarita. I really honestly thought I was having a midlife crisis a little bit early. I was like, what are you doing? You do not know anybody. You do not know how to run a business online. And like, who are you to be able to branch off and do something totally left field? You're a horse person. And that's all I literally spoke about 24/7. People, out would ask me about horse stuff, or how are your horses? It was always the horses and the weather. How would I actually be able to have a conversation about something else? And I was quite unconfident in talking to other people. Like, I didn't like doing something like this. I would never be able to do, really. I wasn't the most courageous person. Even teaching, when I was teaching, if I was in a group, of other co-workers and things like that, I would always like speak much so softly, and everybody come in a little bit closer. So it really challenged my courage or my confidence for myself. But what kept calling me forward was I kept seeing other women being able to create amazing results for myself. And I don't know about you ladies that are watching, but it's like you have arguments with yourself. It's like one voice on this shoulder and one voice on the other shoulder. And you're just watching them have little arguments of, yes, you can do it. No, you can't. Who do you think you are? Yes, give it your best shot. And that went on for a while. So that was definitely challenging for my mindset, to be able to question myself of, could I actually do this? Could I actually make sales? Could I actually be able to run a business alongside my horsemanship business? And because what if it was a flop? What if it was a total, disaster? That's going to affect my current business too. So like, the arguments were real inside my head, that's for sure.
So what kept you going during that time? Because we are plagued by both of these voices.
Yeah.
What was the belief that kept you going, moving forward to become the successful person you are today?
For me, it was the community of surrounding myself with other women that had the results that I desired. And just to hear their stories, their own belief and their mindset, and the trainings I got to be able to participate in and learn from, that I got to listen to while I was driving, or out with the horses and just have my earphones in, or at home cooking dinner, and I would just plug into some different trainings where I got to meet hundreds of women that were being able to create success for themselves from all different walks of life. And I was like, my gosh, Carmen, if they can do it, so can you. Like, get out of your own way. And sometimes I think having the hard conversations with ourselves, whether it's, to the mirror in the bathroom or in the shower or whilst you're cooking dinner, like I talk to myself quite regularly, and have meetings with me, myself. Yes, have meetings with me, myself and I. And sometimes we just need a good slap to be able to say, like, get out of your own way. Because I truly believe that I was the one that was holding myself back. I was the one that was keeping myself stuck. And I didn't want to be in the same position in another 12 months' time. And so I just refused to get in the way of myself. It's kind of like creating a new identity, isn't it? I know you know this for yourself. It's just being able to put another hat on. I think as women, we wear so many different hats. And, I've had a friend also remind me that I wasn't just the horse person. I was also the I loved growing a veggie garden. I love my dogs. I love chickens. I loved, yoga. I loved being able to go sit by the creek or the water. I love watching sunsets. Like, we wear so many different hats versus I'm just the horse person. And so it was really being able to get amongst the other women that had already walked the path before me so that I could borrow their belief. And that's why I loved how you opened up today's interview of you also. You've done a beautiful job of that over the years of being able to give back and breathe belief into other women that are, walking this path as well. And I think it's such a beautiful role that we as women can play amongst each other. It's so special. And that was
So that
really what forward.
Yes. So that leads me to the next question of, from the depths of those experiences, what have been the rewards of that journey? And I follow you and you're a friend. I know those rewards, and they're multiple, but just share a few because they're pretty amazing.
Yeah, I absolutely loved it. And one of my rewards, there's so many. Where do I start? The first one was being able to fully replace my 6-figure income in my first 12 months, like in just part-time hours. Whilst I was still juggling my everyday job, I got to be able to learn the skill set of running a business online, of being able to learn more about our products, and my health continued to improve. Because one of the things that really scared me about Ross River virus is that it can lead to other serious complications, different other health aspects. And also you can have flare-ups, and I didn't have any flare-ups and didn't continue having more further complications. So I was super pleased about that from my own health perspective. And I truly believe like that our mindset and what we're consuming, both literally consuming from food, water, but also the mindset, the thing, how we talk to ourselves, what we're watching and things like that. I really feel like that helps support me a lot to be able to feel better within myself health-wise, because it still was in my joints, like my knuckles and things like that. I love watching your dogs in the background. Having a ball. And like my joints and things like that would swell up. And so I felt amazing. And so that was a huge reward. I then got my time freedom back. Because I started to earn more finances for myself, I didn't have to race around the countryside and put myself last. I got to be able to say, you know what, instead of teaching 5 or 6 clinics a month, let's teach 3 or 4. And I got some weekends back for myself. I got to go and pursue some of my own horse dreams and goals and head out to some competitions and invest in me learning to, follow my horse passions. So that was a huge reward in my first 12 months. And then in my second year, I went and bought my dream farm. And I moved in my third year. But in my second year, we went, and it was all because of the world closing down and all sorts of things that you kind of get shifted in. So like I felt like one door was closing and I wasn't ready for that door to close, but it opened a beautiful door to another chapter. And I bought my farm. It's 96 acres of green grass and rolling hills, and it came with 20 cows and a red tractor. And I've never had cows before, so me and Margarita often share funny similarities along our journeys. And just to watch my horses go out and be living their best life, running up and down hills and playing in the dams, like that just makes my heart so happy. And to be able to work from home, I got to be able to finish up teaching to pay the bills as such, and just be able to work from home with my online business. And that, just to enjoy the property, to enjoy my time. And now I just get to be able to teach every now and then for fun. Like I have a little 12-year-old girl down the street that I like to give some lessons to, that has a horse that I had for a little while, and just making sure that they're a good, safe partnership. And I get to do it for free. I don't have to go and charge to be able to go and pay the electricity bill or charge for rent. I have a friend's horse here for training that was only here for a month as a free service. Like, oh yeah, bring him over, I'll help him out. And now he's been here 6 months. But just to be able to give back to friends and people that also, are important to you. Like that's just the gift the gift of time and presence. And it's just
Yeah.
the courage and confidence to be, you know, on speaking on an interview or different things, or speaking on different stages. I've been able to travel around the world now and share different stages of speaking about how to become, like, step into your potential, how to be able to become that woman that you might desire for yourself. And that's been a huge highlight, to be able to inspire other men and women along their journeys. I got to speak in San Diego last year and take my dad overseas to Japan and America. Just lots of little special things. And giving back to my parents has been huge. You know, they've supported me in all my crazy horse dreams. You know, and I've got to be able to buy my mum a new car because her car was like rattling and not safe to drive. I was like, come on, mum, we're going car shopping. Go and choose the car that she wanted. And just to be able to give back to mum and dad like that. They're 75, I think, this year. Yeah, that's been super important. And I think that's the gift that we get to be able to pay forward. What's that future version of ourselves want to be able to create?
Yes, it's an amazing journey, isn't it? It's you go through the hard yards, and then when you get to that point where you are able to give back because you are able to, that's really beautiful. Yes. And I've seen that you've inspired thousands of men and women over the world through what you've been doing. So Carmen, finally, what words of wisdom have emerged from your journey that you would want to share?
One of my favorite words of wisdom really is something that was shared with me at the beginning, where I felt like I was in this fork of this road. Like, should I be able to embark on this new journey? Should I be able to trust myself and back myself? And that phrase is, what is keeping you so loyal to a life that is keeping you so stuck right now? And my invitation to you for that question is to don't let that answer be you. Because for a while, that answer was me. I was the one that was keeping me so loyal to a life where I felt so stuck. But it's time to be able to get out of your own way.
I think actually that's an incredible question to ask oneself, because like you, that was the answer to the question for me for quite some time. What is stuck was me. Yes.
Yeah.
So thank you for that.
You're
Carmen,
welcome.
thank you. Success isn't just measured by what we achieve, but by who we become along the way. Like you said, you never envisaged yourself being able to talk on videos and talk on stage to people.
Yeah.
Your willingness to embrace change, back yourself, and continue learning is an inspiration to anyone wondering if it's too late to create a different future. And if folk would like to connect with you, they can do so via the link in the description box.
Thanks.
So thank you again for sharing your story so openly and for the positive impact you're making in the lives of others. It's been an absolute delight to connect with you through this conversation this afternoon. And
You.
I look forward to sharing the story of another extraordinary woman with you all. Thank you for joining us today. If you enjoy hearing the stories of ordinary women doing extraordinary things, I invite you to subscribe and join us for future conversations. With heart, Margarita.
Thanks, Margarita.